Welcome back to Get Lost. I'm actually here with my Russian friend. Gingell couldn't be here today, so do you want to say hello?
Hello.
Anything else?
Get to the job.
Welcome to Get Lost. Get Lost on air. Yo. Completely stitched you up.
Literally, bro, you always put me on the spot with this shit. I'm gonna start doing it to you. I'll be like, here's my friend to explain string theory.
You can't even make up anything about that.
It's not an easy one. Oh, come on, just string theory, bro. You stupid.
That's just fucking string theory. That's just almost as confusing as NFTs to me.
Bro, I still don't understand NFTs. My entire net worth is in NFTs, and I don't understand quite how it works.
Fucking terrifying.
Which is slightly worrying, to be honest. You know, like people say, do your own research, but fuck it sometimes, you know.
Well, some good news for you is that we're about a minute in, so we've only got about 39 more to go.
Cheers, mate. Cheers, mate. Is that an explanation of time rather than string theory?
That's right, because I can explain time to you if you like.
Yeah, okay, just the inner workings of time, please. Let's go.
So basically, time is just a construct, and humans made it up, which means it's not a real thing if you think about it. I actually don't understand when people say that, because it definitely is a thing, because time moves on.
I know what you mean. It's like it does happen anyway. Like it's just kind of the passage of things happening.
Yeah.
The fact that you got to measure that at some point, like the sun going around the earth. It's actually like time is just all based on things when you think about it. Like I think that's what it means. Like it's based on how much the sun has moved around the earth. That's what time's. No, sorry, the earth's moved around the sun. Apologies. This isn't the.
But then, it's the measurement of everything, just measurement in general. Surely,
but it's all based on the planet around the sun. That's the whole thing, right?
Well, time.
That's what it's based off. Yeah.
Well, it's just the passing of time. So, I could sit here for about 10 years and get fucking old.
Yeah.
Does that have much to do with the sun?
Yeah, because 10 years is 10 times around the sun.
Yeah, but am I aging because of the sun? No.
Maybe.
But
you'd age
I
quicker
think I see what you're
sun.
saying. Like they've made the time measurement because of the sun, right?
Yeah,
that's what you're saying?
Yeah, that's what it's based on. But if we didn't have a sun, you'd age instantly. You'd just be dead, right? You'd be dead in like a week.
Well, there wouldn't be much about, would there? I don't know if we'd even be born if there was no sun. Because babies are born using photosynthesis, and
it's a careful process, isn't it? Like your mum just stands there, just naked in the garden, and just soaks
taking
it
in the rays. Yeah,
that's it.
That's why your parents always have better
seep
tan
into the skin. Definitely not because sunbeds were big in the 70s.
No, but right. So they say time is just a construct and shit like that, right?
Yeah.
But then that means distance is also just not a real thing.
Yeah. It's measurement, isn't it? Yeah, facts, bro. Facts.
Yeah.
It's same with numbers, mate. Someone's same with numbers, right?
Everything.
It's say you got two things. Whose size are two? We just decided that was two. It's all forms of measurement, I suppose, don't exist.
True. And so what does exist? Like that.
You exist, bro. This podcast, and that's all that matters, you know?
What they told us in school in science, where you're not actually touching anything.
Yeah.
You do that lesson where anything you touch, there's a layer of nothing between your finger and the item.
Yeah, exactly. So when you think you're holding your girl's hand, you're not
you're holding someone else's. You're holding the boy's hand.
You're holding the boy's hand. You're not even holding your own hand. You're not even holding your hand. It's like.
You're just floating.
You're not even holding yourself together.
We're all just alone.
We're all just falling apart slowly, bro. Yeah. Think about that. You know?
Whoa. Yeah. Also, the amount of hair that falls out of my head. Why am I not bald yet?
I don't know why I'm not bald yet either, but like, I have no idea.
Like, so much hair falls out of my head, like in the shower, and it's still there, still going strong.
Do you ever do the thing where you're in the shower, you're like just in the bathroom, and you kind of pull at like where the bald patch should be, just to see if like a clump of hair is just gonna come out? Like, because I do that quite regularly.
Little
just
strength
to make sure,
test on your skin.
make sure I'm not gonna end up looking like Michael Phelps on his Olympic run. You know what I mean? Just like,
yeah. Well, no, I've never done it, but I worry more about this bit. If my forehead gets any bigger, then I'm gonna start to fucking panic. I look at old photos of myself, and I'm like, oh no, has it got bigger? I've got one little freckle.
You've got like a square forehead, bro. Your forehead's like a square. It's like an array. It's like a rubber.
Isn't it? I've got a very square head. I don't get the people who have that hairline that comes down here. Do you know that one?
Yeah.
Where it covers their temples with hair. That's wild.
It's like Wolverine. It's like Wolverine's Wolverine's more chilled out cousin.
It's fucking weird. And those people always have skinheads as well.
Yeah. Yeah. You know what's odd actually? The Widow's Peak. You know, some kids just called Widow's Peak.
Well, the one that just comes down like that.
Yeah, it's the little rhino horn of a hairline that just moves down. It's like they look like Aang.
Yeah, they should shave their hair into an arrow
and meditate all the time.
I don't understand hair or human bodies at all. Like, why does it stop?
It's so interesting that like we just all find it sexy as well, like certain hairstyles and certain like we're all like animals, right? But we still find like a girl in like a really nice outfit like attractive.
Do you think if you showed a caveman what we fancy, do you think they'd be like, oh yeah? Or is it because we've been taught to like it?
Yeah, I don't know. Do you reckon cavemen were like, oh, I don't know whether I should talk to her?
Yeah, I want a bit of that, but I don't know whether she'll ooga booga my way.
Or was he just gonna pick her up, chuck her on the shoulder, and just make a dart for it into the like the nearest cave? You know, like there must have been like the Bill Cosbys of the caveman time as well. But I suppose you just use a club. Just use a club instead, wouldn't they?
Yeah, what period of time would you go back? Would you go all the way back to the caveman time and look at what they're doing if you could? If you had a time machine, you got one trip, but two, because you get to come back.
Egypt, bro. I'd go Egypt.
But yeah.
Yeah, because I want to know how these pyramids are built, because like, you know, there's all these like mad thoughts. Oh, it was aliens, all that, and like, was it just slaves? You know what I mean?
Probably was.
Like that seems like the most obvious answer. I want this proof because nobody actually knows how they were built, which is just insane.
Like, people say that we couldn't even do it now. Like
that's even more insane, isn't it? Like,
of course we can. We can do anything.
Yeah. Well, we can't. We can't fucking.
Tell me what we can't do.
President. We can't choose a good president. That's a start.
That's true.
All the presidents. We can't even do that, bro. We can't even pick a leader.
All the world leaders are the worst.
They're all like retards. So they're all like greasy old men.
But is there such thing as a good world leader?
Did you hear about the Finland one?
No.
So like, I don't know, while COVID was going mad, they weren't under lockdown or anything, and she goes clubbing. And she goes clubbing because she's like 30, like 32 or 34 or something like that. This prime minister of the country.
Nice.
And like she got into like a bit of trouble because there was like a big like COVID problem, and she'd been just out clubbing the night before because people were trying to call her. It was like an emergency.
Respect.
She was just out in the town.
Fucking hell. Imagine the uproar if Boris did that.
Boys. If what?
If Boris did that, the uproar. There was already enough fucking complaints when he had a cheese and wine night.
Yeah, bro. Oh god, I can't believe they were out there having cheese and wine. Like,
I know people were people were attending funerals on FaceTime because they couldn't go because of COVID.
The bastards, man.
They're all sitting around.
It just kind of shows you what they think, isn't it? Like they'll make these rules and be like, like this shows that they're just like us, because I think everyone's broken lockdown rule at some point.
Oh, absolutely. And everyone, if they make a announcement where they're going to do lockdown rules over fucking New Year's Eve, everyone's going to break them. There's no way people are going to cancel their New Year's Eve plans.
Like, people are gonna go like mad otherwise, I think.
Uh-huh.
Especially all the extroverts out there. All the extroverts are just gonna be losing their minds. Like, that's the thing. Like, for the introverts, it's not like a huge problem at all.
Yeah, like I've spoken to quite a few people who are like introverts, and they go, "Do you know what? Lockdown's been great for me. no one's been asking me to go out. It's been wonderful, and I'm here like, I want to see people."
You're just like rocking on your chair.
It's so twitchy.
Yeah.
Oh,
it has been a bit like that. So yeah, people can start going mad. But I don't know. We'll see. There's have you seen the Keir Starmer leak that came out? I think it was today.
No.
So yeah, there's footage being showed of him at like some sort of party. He's like hosting well, it's not really a party. It's Keir Starmer, but he's hosting like a drinks night, like in the middle of lockdown as well. So like both of the leaders of the top two parties in the country have been caught like just disobeying.
You love it, don't you? You love to see it.
Yeah, it's crazy. You know?
Love to see him having a good time.
Yeah.
Good old Bojo.
Have you heard Keir Starmer talk at all?
No, I don't know who he is. I don't know what he looks like. Am I that fucking uneducated?
Have a look. That's the thing with him though. Like with Bojo, you knew who Bojo was before he was even like head of the Tory party.
Yes.
With Keir Starmer, he was previously a lawyer. He's a lawyer that's gone into politics, so he's quite unknown, and he doesn't have like a huge personality in this. Well, he does, but he's not like charismatic in the same way.
Yeah,
like Boris is, and previous prime ministers have. But like Ed Miliband was quite charismatic.
David Cameron all he did was fuck a pig.
He was a bit of a gammon. He should have played into that a bit more, shouldn't he?
He definitely should have.
Maybe people would have liked him a bit more, you know.
But no, I'm not even. I didn't even know who he was, to be honest.
Yeah, he's head of Labour now, but like as been shown here, like nobody's heard of him, nobody knows who he is, and it's like this is the leader of the opposition, and he's been in charge like for over a year. He's been the head of the Labour Party for a while, and like no one's got a clue. Which kind of says more about him and the Labour Party's marketing tactics than it does about anything else. Yeah.
Oh, I fucking hate politics. It's bullshit. Tell you what though, what do you think is bullshit? Do you think Jake Paul winning that fight was bullshit? Do you think it was
mate, I keep on hearing this. I keep hearing this everywhere, bro. And no,
it was fucking unreal. So he was supposed to fight Tommy Fury, but man's a pussy and he pulled out, scared to lose his rib.
He broke a rib.
Well, you say that, but you know
he had scans. Yeah,
but the thing is, if you're a fucking hardcore boxer, you do it anyway.
What, with a broken rib?
Yeah, you do it anyway. I'd do it.
All you got to do is punch him in the rib once.
I'd do it.
You imagine that you get stabbed in the heart with your own rib, like.
That's a bit long. You get punch into your lungs. Yeah, maybe not then. No, but you know, little man, it just was such shit timing for him to break a rib.
There was videos out though. I think it was his dad, right? So Tommy Fury's in this boxing gym training for the Jake Paul fight, and he's lying on his back, and he's kind of like, you know, in the sit-up position on your back, the kind of crunch position with your knees up. Mm-hmm. He's in that, and his dad is over him with a giant medicine ball, just smashing it into his ribs.
Fucking hell! No wonder he broke his ribs.
You put two and two together, and you start to think maybe his dad broke his ribs.
He probably broke his ribs on purpose because he didn't want his son losing to get Jake Paul. I would love it for Jake to fully knock out Tommy like he did this other bloke.
Same.
Because the fucking swing, he just fucking goes for it, and man was out for quite a while. God.
So yeah, it's Tyron Woodley, and a lot of people are saying it was fixed, right? And the reason they're saying it's fixed is because as Jake takes that swing, like Woodley had his guard up, and then he put it down. Yeah. Just before Jake took that punch. And I don't know enough boxing to really tell what the hell it means, but so as soon as he had that guard down, Jake came in, right hooked him, boom, out cold.
But you can see as well, Jake goes to like fake a punch below, which I think is why he dropped his guard down to block that, and then Jake comes in with a fucking bang.
And that's the thing, it looks so different in slow motion, you know what I mean? Like, in slow motion, it looks like a lot easier to block these shots than it actually
Exactly.
is. Like, this shit's going a lot faster.
People don't realise how quick that punch was.
It's like when you get VAR on football and, you get like a red card come out and like everyone goes, oh, that's a horrific challenge. But when you see it in like fast, it's like, you can see how the heat at the moment has just got to the player.
Yeah, exactly.
When you see it from speed.
But this fucking boy went down like a sack of shit, didn't he? Fell right on his face.
Yeah, bro, like his soul left his body.
God, he did, didn't he? That's embarrassing.
Another dimension.
Oh, fuck that. Fuck that.
It was quite funny. And then Jake Paul was like just leaning over the rings.
Do you think any of Jake's fights have been rigged?
Well, there was the rumors about in the last Woodley fight that Woodley wasn't allowed to knock Jake Paul out. I don't know how true those were because they were coming out from like members of the UFC who were saying this. But I don't know. Like if you rig it and then you get found out for rigging it, that's it. Your entire credibility's gone. I don't know if it's worth the risk.
Yeah, exactly. And not many boxers or fighters, I don't think they'd want to rig it. Like, no matter how much money you pay them, I don't think they'd want to like give up their pride to lose a fight like that.
Yeah.
To Jake Paul especially, maybe someone else, but Jake Paul.
Yeah, that's the thing, because everyone just assumes he's a scummy little immoral YouTuber that wouldn't do anything good. But like, I don't know. I think the man, he wants to legitimately make his way up. He's already got his audience. Now he's just like doing something he loves and using that audience to make it incredibly lucrative for him.
Yeah, he's doing all right, isn't he? So when the first baby was born, like who thought to cut the umbilical cord? Whose idea was that?
I don't know. I suppose maybe when you start dragging it around for so long, you think, this is a bit of a nuisance.
Do you think there was a while that there was so many humans all connected to each other, and then they all just sort of went, should we just like disconnect from each other? Shall we just cut this umbilical cord? There's like fucking loads of people joined together.
Oh god, but you crazy, bro. Do I think that all the humans would join together?
And then they're like,
so like you would like attach to your mom, and your mom was attached to her mom, and like everybody was attached to a woman.
And then they're like, look, this is so impractical. We're not going to hunt anything if we don't split up and search for clues. So then they cut it. And then they're like, this is so much better.
They could have just been catching them by standing in a line together. You know what I mean? Like those big
wrap them up.
Just surround them from all angles, like a big circle, just closing in.
Oh, so we saw Spider-Man.
Yeah.
Let's talk about Spider-Man.
I think it's about time.
It is. So, did you purposely avoid spoilers before you went?
No, I didn't. I heard what was. I think you told me on the podcast. To be honest, what's going to happen?
Probably. I was like so actively avoiding spoilers. I was like, I didn't go on TikTok, Twitter, Instagram, anything. And I was so terrified of finding out anything. And it was a good job because as soon as I saw it, I came out of the cinema and there were scenes of it on TikTok.
Yeah.
And I was like, how the fuck have people got this, videoed this already? And that just made me think of a time when Alex, our friend Alex, you remember when Game of Thrones was a big thing?
Yeah, of course.
So there was an episode, spoilers if you haven't watched Game of Thrones. If you haven't, then don't. It's pretty crap. This
controversial.
It was. The point when Jon Snow dies, right?
Of course, yeah.
We were at sixth form, I think, when that was going on. And Alex hadn't seen the episode yet. And he was walking around school like, no, don't tell me what happens. Don't tell me what happens and everything. We were sitting in our math class, not doing any work and playing this Agario game. Do you remember that game?
No.
Where you're a little ball and then you go around the screen like eating balls that are smaller than you and then your ball gets bigger and then you're playing against people online who...
Oh, yeah.
Do you remember that?
Yeah, of course. Yeah, that was dope.
That was great. And someone had named their character on there, Jon Snow Dies. And it only came out like that morning. And then everyone around us was laughing about it. And Alex was like, what? What? He dies? And that's how he found out that Jon Snow died. And I just thought it was fucking hilarious. And I would have been furious if that had happened with me in Spider-Man.
I wish I told you that Spider-Man dies. Now I wish I'd gone to the cinema and just told you that. Just to watch you just like have an existential crisis.
Oh god. But what did you think of the film?
I thought it was brilliant, mate. I think it's put Spider-Man back on the map, because the last Spider-Man, the last two were like, they were good, but they weren't like blockbusters.
Yeah, they were sort of lost in the like rest of the Avengers films, weren't they?
Yeah, it all kind of came out just after Endgame. Really took the edge off it a bit, to be honest, but like this one was huge just because you had the old Spider-Man in it as well. You had all the old villains. It felt like the pinnacle of Spider-Man. It's difficult to see where they're gonna go with it from here, because it's a bit of an Endgame situation where you get every single character doing their best shit.
Yeah. I know what you mean.
Like, it's like, what now?
Oh, it was so good. I was in the cinema like my mouth fucking open, like when it all ended. None of us said a word, and we were all just sat there, just watching a blank screen. Like, what do we do now?
That thing, it was funny. It was like emotional. There was some bits that made me tear up a little bit.
Same.
The CGI was fantastic. Like, they had the old character. Like, it had everything.
Unbelievable. It had
so everything.
Good. I genuinely think that is the best film I've ever seen in my entire life. I've never watched a film that like I've enjoyed that much.
It was amazing. It was an amazing film.
So good. So good. Oh god.
Do you think Tom Holland's going to be Bond then?
There's a high chance he could be. But then, like, who else could be Bond? Tom Hardy could be Bond.
Tom Hardy's quite old though. That's the thing. Like,
yeah.
When you pick a Bond, like, you need to pick him for like a good 20 years almost these days. Like,
Henry Cavill.
Daniel Craig's been. Who is Henry Cavill?
Henry Cavill. He's Superman, and he plays that bloke in The Witcher. You seen that?
No.
Oh, he's a Brit. I reckon he could play Bond.
Yeah, he could play Bond. He's got the look.
He has, hasn't he?
He is stacked, mate.
I know. And that bloke, right? I was watching him on Graham Norton the other day, and he is a big Warhammer. Is it Warhammer? Warhammer fan.
The little characters.
Yeah, where you paint them in the shop.
Yeah.
He's a massive fan of that, and you would not look at a guy like that and think that that's what he's into.
38-year-old man who's literally plays for Superman.
Plays with little dolls and paints them. Wild.
Everyone's got to have a hobby, I guess.
Well, true, yeah. But yeah, he's huge as well. So, and he's properly British.
That's the kind of the main thing for the Bond, isn't it? He needs to be
a gentleman,
quite sophisticated. And that's the thing. Is Tom Holland a bit goofy?
Potentially. I don't think they need to do another Bond for a little while, so maybe he'll like mature into it a bit.
That's true. He might be like 27, 28 by the time he by the time he gets cast.
Yeah, exactly. Because they can't do one already. They can't even be thinking about it already. Surely.
Did you watch the last one?
No.
It was alright. It was alright.
I haven't watched any of them,
Daniel Craig. Yeah, I've watched a single Bond.
I watched Casino Royale in English when everyone else was out doing sports day. I wasn't on a sports team, so I was sat there watching Casino Royale.
You little nerd.
I just couldn't do any sport.
Didn't want to go out and get bullied. You're going to get humiliated, mate.
Oh god, I'd have just been shit. I did rugby in one inter-house competition. Oh, I fucking hated it. It was terrifying.
It's
scary. Was in year 9.
Some of these lads, they like, the thing with rugby at that age is that some lads have hit puberty.
Exactly. And so it's so unfair.
If you haven't, it's unreal. It's unreal.
It wasn't even like I was the sort of skinny like small kid who could run between people and stuff. I was like the sort of chunky small kid, so I didn't even have the stamina.
He's got the strength, the stamina.
I had nothing.
He's got the jokes though. He's got the jokes.
Yeah, I was just the fucking guy on the sideline cracking jokes. I hated rugby.
I used to I used to smash the 800 meters. That was kind of like my race.
Yeah, a little whip it.
I was a bit of a long distance runner. Got that skinny frame. But so in one of the last years that I did it, I think it was like year 10 or some shit. I thought I'd go out with a bang. I thought like I'm gonna try to win this race. There's like some top athletes, some of the top guys from the school were in this thing, and I was like, I'm just gonna go for it from the start.
Nice.
But in the 800 meters, that's not a good strategy.
No, you're right.
It's bad. Like, so
Unless you're Mo Farah.
Yeah, literally. Unless you've got like an actual engine attached to your ass, it's not a good strategy. So I actually like as soon as the whistle blew, we all started running off. I thought let's get a nice early lead. I started sprinting, where I was like running as fast as my legs could carry me. And so we come around the first quarter, and I look at my shoulder, and the boys are a bit far behind. I'm like, you know what, I can do this.
Fucking
So
smashed
carry on
it.
sprinting, bro. I'm like going. I finished the first lap. And I look behind, I'm like, what the bloody hell is everyone? It's just me. Then I get like a few meters into the second lap, and I'm like, okay, now I see the problem here. Literally, I was dying, bro. I was on the verge of walking, mate. So I sprinted the entire fucking first lap, and I was on
I thought you were going to say that you'd accidentally entered like the 100 meters, and you're like, where is everyone? You got all the way around, and everyone's like, stop.
I meant as in they're the other side of the bloody field, because I'm just like, you know, I'm sprinting the entire first lap.
God. Did you not have enough of a lead where you could have won it anyway?
No, I came 5th out of 8, mate. Yeah.
Ah, that's embarrassing.
Yeah. It is embarrassing when you get to there and then everyone overtakes you. It's horrific.
Oof. Yeah.
Because you just know that they see you at the start and go, this crazy cunt.
This guy. Then there's the experienced guy who does cross country like outside of school, and he's like, he's gonna get fucked. Give it 2 minutes and he'll be fucked. He'll be walking.
Amateur.
Yeah,
Same guy who's like running to school every day.
Yeah, exactly. And he does orienteering for a fucking hobby on a Saturday morning.
Yeah, he does push-ups for lunch. He doesn't have sandwiches.
Absolute weapon.
Orienteering, mate. What a useless skill that is these days.
I know. So pointless.
Good fun, but completely useless.
It's good exercise. Very good exercise.
It's like if society collapses, I think even if society collapses, we wouldn't be in a state where we need orienteers to guide us.
No, I don't think so. We'll just all be wandering around lost because we refuse to ask the orienteers where to go. Oh dear. Have you if you were a rock star,
Yeah.
would you sleep with one of your groupies?
If I was a rock star, I'd probably be quite a loose character, to be honest.
Yeah. So say you're Led
I'd be
Zeppelin.
like a drug addict, wouldn't it? I'd be a drug addict, realistically. So yeah, I think I would. I think it'd be part of the lifestyle.
I don't think you can get groupies anymore, really. Groupies are people that just fucking follow the band around and sleep with them. Sleep with members
But no
of
one
the
can
band.
get close enough to them these days.
No, exactly. And I don't think the band would even be up for it anymore because they'd get rinsed.
Yeah.
Like, they'd get cancelled for sleeping with a fan, wouldn't they?
I don't know, it was KSI that came out the other day and said that he slept with a fan, didn't he? I think it was on the podcast that they've got.
Yeah, I think he did. And I actually saw Five Sauce.
Yeah.
Apparently they used to have groupies. In like 2013, they used to have girls following around and they'd just like pick one out of the fans and then fucking sleep with them and then throw them back in, throw them back into the mix.
Because I remember, I think it was Catfish in the Bottom got seen. You heard of Catfish in the Bottom?
Yeah.
Yeah. So I think it was them that put out a sign that was like, it was like £10 for a blowjob or like a certain amount of money for certain like sexual favors. It was like free, lot of queue for blowjobs here or something like that.
Yeah.
And they got a lot of shit for that when that came out.
It's just funny though. I think shit like that, if you're an adult, then there's no issue with it. Surely.
I don't know. It's like it depends because like with these days, it's like if you're 5 Seconds of Summer now, your fans like how old are your fans?
Well, these girls because I saw these, it was all on TikTok. It was girls who were part of that group of like groupies at the time were talking about it and how great it was because they're all over age. They were all like similar age to the band, so it wasn't like weird. Yeah. So I don't know how old they were. They would have been like early 20s, I reckon. And that's like, you're an adult. It's your own choice to do that sort of thing.
It's exactly it. The only problem is when you've got like a younger fan base and you're doing it. Like,
well, yeah, that's creepy then. Maybe don't shag a 12-year-old.
Yeah, exactly. You get like these pop stars who want to take advantage of the fact that they've got this platform, but all their fans are like underage, and it's like that's what a lot of people are saying about the Catfish, because they were doing it back in like 2013.
Yeah,
when their fans were still like young. So I don't know. It's a difficult one.
That's where it gets ropey. Wouldn't you like worry if you were that famous, like that one of the girls that you've been with is just going to tell everyone how small your penis is, or like about your game?
Mate, I'd be so scared of anything as like a famous person these days. Mm-hmm. I don't think it's worth it.
No, it would, like, you'd be terrified.
Yeah.
So like you wouldn't get with Taylor Swift. She'd write a song about you. That'd be awful. Everyone hates Jake Gyllenhaal at the moment because of something that he did when he was with Taylor Swift, which was about 10 years ago.
But she just brought a song out about it.
I think so, yeah. I haven't listened to it. Apparently it's like a 10-minute song.
Jesus. Mate, that's harsh from her.
I know. Like, move on.
It's like when Ed Sheeran started dissing Ellie Goulding.
Mm.
I was like, then again, like, did you need to do that? Like, this girl, like, yeah, like she hurt you, but ruining her life, I don't know.
It's an easy hit though, isn't it?
Yeah, like we didn't hear from Ellie Goulding after that.
No, don't know where she's gone. She didn't love me like off. You do, and then she fucked off.
Just completely fell off.
Yeah.
So maybe that was Ed Sheeran's doing. Maybe he got his what he wanted. I don't know.
Maybe.
What else have we got to talk about, my man? You want to talk about The Dark Knight and how it was overrated?
This is a controversial topic.
I'm ready to fight.
This is a controversial topic.
No, I want to hear. I want to hear your take.
Okay, where this came from was I was talking to someone the other day about overrated films.
Right.
And this is also controversial. Interstellar is a film that I think is the most overrated fucking film.
Bro, do you just hate Christopher Nolan? Is that fucking? Is that the bottom line here?
I hate people who only like him because he's called Christopher Nolan, because of the name. Yeah, because people claim that Dunkirk is an incredible film and it's boring as fuck.
I enjoyed Dunkirk.
I enjoyed it the first time, but then like you watch it again, you're like, God, it's boring.
Yeah. Well, that's the thing. Like with war films, it can be a bit like that. Like,
yeah, except Hacksaw Ridge. That's an excellent film.
The 1917 came out last year as well. That was class.
Was it?
Yeah, it was really good. Really good. It was like, I think it was done in one shot. Like, just one character. Like the whole film's just this like these two characters. It's crazy. You have to go see it. It's crazy.
Oh right. Well, I will then. Enjoyable. I do like war films. Like I've seen some of Saving Private Ryan. Not all of it, but I've seen some of it. It's good.
It's a long film, that, to be fair.
Yeah, exactly.
You've got time to sit down and watch all of that.
Not me. I can stomach a 2-hour film at the most. 2.5 is a Spider-Man film. No, so but the argument was that I don't think anyone genuinely makes their own opinions about films half the time. Like The Dark Knight, everyone claims it's the best, the greatest superhero film of all time ever, and one of the greatest films ever made. But I think, apart from the Joker, what is good in that film?
It's a good. The plot is what makes it so good.
But the plot is good because of the Joker, right? And
yeah, Heath Ledger did kill it. Don't get me wrong. He did
take the Joker out of that fucking film, and what is there? Is Batman? It's boring.
No, Christian Bale was the boy. Batman is supposed to be boring. He's like a mysterious man. It's like the Batman was just cracking jokes all the time. You kill him. Batman just like put at the camera doing the finger guns. Like it wouldn't be good. It wouldn't be good. It's like, well, they tried to do that with Bond in the last one, and it was a bit cringe.
I bet it was. I can't really imagine that Daniel Craig is very comedic.
No, it's like, you know, these characters are like, they're supposed to be like very highly sophisticated, kind of dark characters. They're supposed to be like troubled individuals. Like they're not as in like a comedian, because they're all troubled individuals, but more as in like they don't want to open up to people. That's kind of their whole gig. So they kind of be like mysterious. They try to get out of people's way. They don't want to talk to people. That's their entire thing. If they're there just like laughing all the time, can you
just cracking jokes. Everyone is like Spider-Man, just constantly cracking jokes. It's like, shut up. No, but
if they made Batman, like if they cast like Seth Rogen as Batman,
that would be. I'd watch that. I would absolutely watch that.
That'd be trash.
I'd watch it.
It'd just be high the entire thing. Like, puts a bat signal in the air and he just doesn't show up. Like.
It's got to be a weed symbol in the sky instead. No, I thought it was good
and the cinematography as well.
That's something that was part of this argument I was having the other day.
Yeah,
it was more to do with Interstellar than it was Dark Knight. But the person, she goes, no, listen to all these things about Interstellar, and I was just sort of like, name a character from Interstellar.
Use Drake's line.
Is that Drake's line, is it?
Yeah, Drake said that about a Kendrick verse. When like a big Kendrick verse came out, he said basically it was a really controversial verse, and they asked Drake about it, and like, is Kendrick the best rapper alive at the moment? And he goes, tell me the first line from that verse. And nobody
it's a valid point. It's a valid point. And it's like, name a character from Interstellar. You can't. Name a character from like Avatar. Fuck, who knows any characters from Avatar? They're...
Oh, but don't tell me your shit on Avatar. Hold up.
Avatar's great.
Hold up.
Avatar is
come off it. Come
Avatar is
awful.
awful.
That was a generational film. That was a generational film.
And tell me why.
We've been waiting 12 years for fucking Avatar 2.
Tell me... tell me what was good about Avatar.
Oh, mate. The universe. It was like the connectivity of the planet that they created. The planet they created was just incredibly like well done.
So the CGI, which we've got better CGI now.
The CGI for its time was the best that we'd ever seen. Like nothing came close to that film's.
Yeah, fair. And I get that.
The characters were loose. The characters were loose, and they weren't like heart moving, and they weren't amazing actors. But it's like remember that film with the giant robots that had dreadful actors, but it was a really sick film. They had these giant robots that would take out these monsters in the sea. Do you know what I'm talking about?
No. I'm not gonna what you're talking about. Giant robots taking out monsters.
Yeah, and it was like a blockbuster film, but like the entire cast, nobody had heard of them. I don't know. It doesn't matter. It's besides the point. The point being
Transformers.
That, like, there wasn't Transformers. It was. I can't remember.
But I'm like, for one, just because something is like the best of its time, doesn't make it good. And we've spoken about music in that way, like the Beatles.
Yeah.
And it's like fucking the first Star Wars film. Everyone raves about it.
Yeah, I was about to say the same thing about Star Wars. Yeah, the CGI is so bad on that. It's painful.
It's awful. And yeah, fair enough. Like the way they did it is cool back in the day when they had no actual CGI technology. But it's a shit film.
That scene in Avatar where they have sex with their hair, though.
Yeah, that's pretty hot.
You can't deny that was a bit wow.
Yeah, fair. Yeah, there are some scenes on it that are quite cool, but
when they when you think about it, they have sex with each other through the hair, right? Or is it through the tree? Isn't it? It's through the tree they have sex.
I don't know. They join hair, but they're in the tree or something.
No, I think they take a bit of the tree each and they kind of stick it to themselves. You
I've
remember?
got a fucking clue.
Like the little tentacles in their hair kind of join up.
Yeah, that
with
bit's
tree
weird. It's
tentacles.
like-
Yeah. And then they're like, I was thinking like they do the same thing with the horse later. They get on these horses and they put the tentacles of the horse, the tentacles of their hair, and they squeeze them all up together.
Oh yeah.
And then they're attached to the horse, and they're just like they just crack on.
It's a strange film, and like we've got better. Yeah, the world was quite cool. The Pandora, it was a cool world.
That was amazing, mate. It was amazing.
Do we not have better stuff now?
I don't know. Like, name a better CGI film that's come out.
Avengers.
That's, like, just but entirely CGI, pretty much. Like, they had like a CGI world. I don't what do you mean
Pretty much all the
Avengers?
Marvel films now. They're all fucking CGI.
That's true. That's true. Eternals wasn't.
No, but you didn't enjoy the Eternals.
That shit sucks, bro. That shit. I can't lie. It was awful. It was a bad film. It was a cool concept. It was a cool concept.
But like, yeah,
No, it was awful.
Interstellar. Yeah, before we close off, I just want
Yeah.
to say that if you claim that you notice the score of the film the first time you watch it, you are lying to me.
The score of the film. What do you mean?
Like the music, the soundtrack.
Why'd you call it the score?
Because the score is like, I think score means the orchestral music, whereas like soundtrack is like pop songs pretty much in films. So like Guardians of the Galaxy and Suicide Squad have a soundtrack, whereas something like Harry Potter has a score.
Okay. I'm with you.
I think that's right. But
Look at you with your technical film jargon.
look at me. But everyone talks about the fucking score of Interstellar and how great the music is, and I'm like, it's just fucking violins, and you definitely didn't notice that the first time you were watching the film. There's no way.
No, the thing is, like, even if you did notice it, you don't remember it. Like,
No, and that's something you would notice if someone mentions it in a YouTube comment. And then you go back and watch it again. You're like, oh yeah, the score is really great on this film. But there's no way you're sat in the cinema like, oh look, listen to those violins and the fucking orchestra.
what I would agree with you about with Christopher Nolan though is like he hasn't brought out a good film in ages. Like when was the last time I liked Interstellar. I thought it was a good film.
I enjoyed it, but it's too long, and
Oh yeah, I wouldn't say it was like one of the best films of that year or anything like that. But it was a good film. I enjoyed it.
Yeah,
But like I haven't like seen like any kind of hype or any excitement about a Chris Nolan film since. And he's brought out films.
well, it was Dunkirk. That was about it, really.
Yeah.
What's he got? He's got Tenet. There was a lot of talk of that, but I don't know whether they thought it was good or not.
I don't think anyone, like, no one really hyped that up too much. Like, where's Tarantino been? What's he been doing? He's just been doing podcasts. He's just been sat with Joe Rogan.
Has he?
yeah, he did Joe Rogan not too long ago. I think he's got his own podcast as well.
He did Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. I didn't watch that.
That was good.
And then before that, I think the most recent one that I've heard of anyway is Django Unchained.
That was what, like 8 years ago?
It's 2012.
Yeah.
10 years ago. Yeah. What about Wolf of Wall Street? Are you a fan?
Oh, I loved it, mate. It was a bit long. I enjoyed the first 2 hours before his life started falling apart.
Yeah, it could have ended a lot of times. And I'd have been satisfied.
Yeah. And then it got to it and like he hits her and spoilers by the way, but and like when he like carries on going what he shouldn't do and like his whole family's disappointed in him and like it just like I don't know. I was enjoying the film up to that point, I think.
I just couldn't get into it. I found it so I think because I knew how long it was, I was like, fuck me, this is I'm drained.
You don't enjoy the
this.
first bit of like all the crazy shit that happens in all the sales stuff.
No, not really. I think it's just not my sort of thing. Although I did like Margot Robbie.
Yeah, that was incredible. I think that put her on the map, didn't it?
Oh yes. And we'll end on Margot Robbie. Shall we?
Probably a good idea. Right. Thank you everyone who listened.
Thanks for sticking around for me, listening to me pretty much complain for about an hour.
And today's therapy session with Charlie Clark.
I hope you had a good Christmas, everyone. We didn't even talk about Christmas.
Merry Christmas.
Get lost on air. Welcome to Get Lost. Get Lost on Air.